Hello, I'm Iona Davis and I'm a civil engineer at the Port of Dover. The Port of Dover is a really important place because this is where lots of people come to travel by ferry if they want to sail across the sea to France. Some people might be going abroad for their holidays and others might be travelling to do business. As well as people, a huge amount of lorries arrive and leave every day to travel by ferry. We can get up to 10,000 lorries a day travelling through the port. Lorries carrying so many different things that we all need to buy. They could be carrying the food that we cook, the clothes we wear, the televisions we watch our favourite programmes on, the toys and games that we play with, or the medicines we might need. These are just a few examples of the incredible range of things that arrive by boat and get transported by lorries all over the country to the towns and cities where we live. We also get large cargo ships that deliver goods and materials like bananas and steel. Cruise ships bring visitors to Dover from all over the world. In fact, £144 billion of the UK's economy comes through the Port of Dover. As a civil engineer, it's my job to help make sure that we manage the maintenance and inspection work in the port to keep it running smoothly and safely. I look at designs for construction works and try to identify any problems and try and fix them before that it's built, because it's easier to fix something on paper before it gets built. When I was growing up, I was quite creative and absolutely loved making things, whether that was with Lego or cardboard and sellotape. I always knew that I wanted to do a job where I could design something and then see it getting built in real life. What I love about my job is that it can change from day to day. So I could be working on the computer, meeting people, checking some design drawings, or I could go outside and do an inspection on a structure or be checking on some construction works. I'm never bored. I did A-levels in maths, physics and English. Then I went and studied a master's degree at university, and during my summer holidays I worked for a civil engineering design company as work experience. After that I started working as a structural engineer, where I got to put everything I'd learnt into practice. So I've designed the structure for office buildings, sports halls, bridges, all sorts of different kinds of buildings. I've even designed the structure for a lifeboat station, and after it was built and opened I got to go on a lifeboat out to sea. So I've been a civil engineer now for over 15 years and I love what I do. It would probably have to be when I was the site supervisor on a construction site where we built a new factory right next to the sea. To protect the building from the effects of climate change, the first thing we had to do was build higher seawalls so that the building wouldn't flood as a result of rising sea levels. There was lots of large earth moving equipment on site like excavators and bulldozers, and sometimes we needed to do night shift so that we could do work at low tide. But it's not always about muddy boots, hard hats and high-vis jackets. On another project where we designed and built a new leisure centre, our team won an award for engineering excellence, so we had the opportunity to dress up smart to collect the award. I'm really proud of the work that I did on that project. In terms of activities that we've got coming up in the port, soon we'll be starting some work to clear rubbish from the bottom of a river that flows through the port and out to sea. Because the work needs to be done underwater, we'll be using a team of divers using special equipment to allow them to breathe underwater. And I enjoy projects like this because we're helping to look after the environment. Another project we're doing is we're installing new mooring bollards at our cruise terminal, and this will allow even bigger cruise ships to come into the port. The work involves drilling and coring so that we can install anchors deep into the ground. And another project we're doing is the outbound controls, where we're completely changing the layout of many of our roadways. This will help improve the flow of traffic through the port and will have a positive impact on the local community. I do feel like I make a difference. As engineers, we're here to help make the world a better and safer place for people to live in. The port is always growing and changing, so it's a really exciting place to be an engineer. There's so much construction and maintenance work to do. It's important that we keep the port running smoothly because so many people rely on it every day. If something breaks and a ferry can't offload trucks and cars, then this could have a really big impact on people who can't get the deliveries they need. It takes a lot of people with different skills to look after the port. Here are some examples of skills that we have in our engineering team. Civil, structural and marine engineers who work on bridges, roadways, piers and seawalls. Geospatial engineers who do surveying. Geotechnical engineers who analyse ground conditions and rock formations. Mechanical engineers who do fabrication and welding, look after cranes, berth structures and do vehicle maintenance. Electrical engineers who maintain the power supplies and lighting to building and equipment. Building and property maintenance to keep us warm, dry and comfortable inside our buildings. Project management and asset management. Inspectors and supervisors. Now we'll introduce you to some of the team who can tell you more about their individual career paths.
Hello, my name is Ruairi Wheaton and I'm the Apprentice Site Supervisor at the Port of Dover. So my role consists of going out on sites and making sure that our contractors are doing as they're told, building what we want them to build and building them in the time frame that we're looking to build it in. I work very closely with our project managers and engineers in ensuring that everybody is working in a safe and healthy manner and that all of the compounds are set up in a way that doesn't pose any threat to any of our users at the port, so any of our vehicles passing through or anybody else working here. My favourite part of the job is probably getting to meet the various people that I get to meet. So I've quite an interesting role. I meet with a lot of contractors and then within the port itself I meet with everybody and anybody that works here. I could be dealing with operations one day, estates the next day. I could be talking very much with our shed team, our health and safety team, and then I get to meet all of our contractors. I also really enjoy what we do here, so at the moment I'm working on the rockfall protection project, which is basically ensuring that the cliffs behind us don't fall down and hurt anybody. I did quite a strange career path. Most people will leave school and have a basic idea of what they want to do. I didn't have that. So after leaving school I went to university for my business degree. I didn't really enjoy it, so I dropped out after a year. I went working in sales. And then I did that for about 2 years. I really enjoyed that, learned a lot of good skills. After that I then got an apprenticeship as a ground worker in the UK. That was really good fun, really enjoyed working on the ground, getting hands on and getting a bit more in-depth knowledge of the construction industry. And then unfortunately COVID hit, so I got laid off and then I went working in a call centre down in Folkestone. That was good, did that for a year, and then I luckily enough found the apprenticeship at the Port of Dover and here I am. No, I haven't always wanted to work in engineering. If I'm honest, I didn't know what I wanted to do for a long time. I was quite fortunate that I've gotten to try a load of different jobs, so I've worked it from bouncy castle delivering to working in sales to working in call centres, but I really do enjoy working in engineering. It's really good fun. Every day is a bit different and there's always something new coming around the corner. The most interesting project is definitely the project I'm working on at the minute, the Rockfall Protection Barrier project. So what we're doing is we're trying to ensure that all of the cliff face is secure and that we don't suffer any landslides, and that could be really bad for our operations here at the port if that was to happen. So we're building it's basically a netting to catch any rock fall or anything that may fall down off the cliffs, and it's a really big project. It's making sure that everything goes right. The drill rigs that we're using on the excavators are like nothing I've ever seen before. I'm going out every day and I'm just amazed by what we're doing here. So we have this Rockfall Protection Barrier project, which is what I'm doing at the moment, and then for National Apprentice Week I'll be helping our HR team go out and talk to schools and try and encourage more young people to get into engineering. So my role is hugely important at the port, and supervised roles all over the construction industry are hugely important because they offer a kind of buffer between the contractor and the project manager, or the contractor and the client. So I'm the first port of call if the contractor has any issues, whether it be water, whether it be an issue with weather. I'm the one they come to, and then I pass on that information if I can't help them myself. And yeah, it's really interesting, and engineering as a whole just does so much interesting stuff and really does keep this country going. If you want to study engineering, just go for it. There's nothing holding you back, and at the end of the day, you're not stuck in one thing in engineering. So I'm an apprentice site supervisor at the moment, but if I wanted to move on and be an engineer, or if I wanted to go into project management, I can take any career path I want after this. Just take that first step and get into engineering.
My name is Nuno Djabi, and I'm a project manager here at the Port of Dover. So what do? I make sure we build very nice things here at the Port of Dover, and make sure it's built to the quality that we want as well. So I make sure I coordinate the process with all the contractors on site. So I always like to figure things out and complete tasks, very complex tasks. So that's one of the reasons that made me want to be an engineer. So the favorite part of the job for me is at the end of it, seeing everything completed and seeing the all the process that we've been through, seeing realized really, and we can all see it, and everyone is happy about the result of it. So I went to school, like you guys are doing right now, and then I went to college for 2 years and university, and after that I found a very nice job here at the Port of Dover. No, I would. My first dream would be to work in sports, be a footballer or work anything in sports really. But now I'm an engineer. So the most interesting project was the Western Docks Revival here at the Port of Dover. Involved a lot of things like massive machinery, which is incredible to be working next to as well. And it was very, very challenging. So that was the best one. So currently, the big project I have and I'm working on is repairing a very old bridge we have here at the Port of Dover, and the bridge is very big and is a very complex project as well, so that's what keeps more interesting as well. Yes, I believe so, because all the projects we do here at the Port of Dover, they help all the cars and trucks going to France as well, so that means that we're making some difference to the world and to England as well, which is great. Follow something that you like to do and stick to it and be good at it.
My name is Kenny and I'm a junior utilities technician at the Port of Dover. My role is to work as part of a team of multiple people. Between us, we look after the utility networks in the Port of Dover. This includes our electricity network, gas network, water networks and sewage networks. We have to maintain, keep records of everything we do to keep the port moving. Without water, buildings can't function. Without buildings, the port can't function. And continually improve the networks, so improve our resilience in the event of failures, and decrease the likelihood of emergencies occurring. The wide variety of things that can happen on a day-to-day basis, anything could come up. One day you'll be dealing with sewage, the next we'll be dealing with the water network. It's a very varied field, and I think that sort of keeps the job exciting. You look forward to coming in every day because it's going to be something new to sink your teeth into, something that maybe you've experienced 100 times before or something you've never experienced in your life. And it's a continuous learning curve, I think. My favourite part of the job would be the interaction with colleagues. Given the nature of the job, we constantly have to be in communication, talking with each other, working together as a team to break down the barriers, to solve the problems that come before us. I think the sort of camaraderie we have within our team is a particular highlight for me. So I started my career as a junior energy manager apprentice. That was a 18-month course which gave me an NVQ level 3 in energy management. Following the completion of that, I was offered the current job role I'm in as a junior utilities technician, but previous to that I was pretty much fresh out of school with my A-levels, no background in the field, and here I am today. Engineering probably wasn't my first choice of occupation. I would have preferred to work with languages myself, but having spent 2-3 years in engineering, I can safely say I wouldn't go back now. Wouldn't change a thing. It's, like I said before, so varied, exciting. The people you meet are fantastic, and it keeps you on your toes. A year ago, a colleague and I began work investigating how we could possibly put wind turbines within the Port of Dover estate. So we spent some time looking at wind speed data, various different wind turbine energy curves, and we were considering different locations to place them. It's still a work in progress, but it's pretty exciting to think about the possibility of wind turbines being placed inside the port for renewable generation, bringing down our costs and saving the planet at the same time. As far as I'm concerned, engineers pretty much keep the world turning. Without the various tasks that engineers carry out, our buildings wouldn't get built, the services to the buildings wouldn't happen, and quite simply the world would struggle to get by without. We'd never get anywhere. So I myself am fairly new to the role, only a couple of months in, so I'm still properly sinking my teeth into it. But there's a couple of things on the horizon. A lab visit to a water sampling laboratory in Staines, viewing hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of equipment. We have the exciting challenge coming up of providing shore power for the brand new hybrid vessels in the Eastern Docks, and similarly with the cruise ships.
My name's Leanne and I'm the Geospatial Surveyor at the port. It's my responsibility to keep the topographical survey or map of the port up to date. This map forms the base of all of our drawings that design work is created from by the engineers. When I was little, I always loved being outdoors, and I always knew that I never wanted a job where I was sat at a desk all day. I didn't think about being a surveyor until my dad found an advert in the local newspaper one day and told me that he'd always wanted to be a surveyor. That year I got the job and started an apprenticeship. As part of the apprenticeship at the first survey company I worked at, I went to university for 1 day a week for 2 years to obtain my HNC in civil engineering. I've worked on many interesting projects at my time at the port, but my favourite has to be creating a roof scan of Waterloo mansions. So I had to take my scanner up on a MUPE, which is a mobile elevated working platform, right to the top of the building and place it on top of the chimney pots and move it along each chimney pot and scan the roof to produce a detailed scan so that the engineers could build a new roof on that building. We're currently trying to understand more about our underground utilities, so we are planning to have some survey work done underground through pipes and ducts so that we know the routes of all of our utilities around the port. My favourite part of the job is working together as a team. We work together to resolve problems and design solutions that will benefit the port for years ahead.
I would say go for it. It's a career that opens up so many possibilities, and you might be the ones designing and building the port of the future.